Et salut, on est reparti pour du Baldur's Gate 3. Continuer. Donc j'étais à la fin de l'acte 2. Je venais de vaincre l'avatar de Mircule. Mircule. Oula. Et il a pas fini de charger le niveau là. Hop, hop, hop. Ouais, je vais tuer Kitterick. Kitterick dorme. J'avais passé mon niveau. Est-ce qu'on devrait pas aller se... Bon, il y a peu de chance que j'aille me reposer au camp. On va faire ça quand même. Au cas où. Allez, let's go.
You saw Gortash, didn't you? What the fuck was he doing down there? Is all of this because of him? The tadpole, the absolute. How?
Apparemment c'est un serviteur de Bane, tout comme Kitterick servait Mircule. Qui sait quel pouvoir il a bien pu gagner depuis le temps où vous le connaissiez.
I'd never have protected a Baneite even a decade ago. I looked after that fucker with my life. I trusted him. He gave me away to Zariel without a second thought. And now he's looking to ruin the entire Sword Coast. He has to die. And I'm gonna be the one who kills him.
Nous nous en chargerons ensemble. Quoi qu'il faille faire, nous le ferons.
He can't get away with what he's done. To me. To us. He won't get away with it.
If I don't get my beauty sleep soon, I may just get a tad malcontent.
I can't help but feel like I've been fumbling in the dark for too long, and I've just had a lit torch thrust into my hands.
De quoi est-ce que vous parlez?
The crown! The one the Elder Brain was wearing. The one I very nearly destroyed. Netherese magic. So pure, so complete, that I didn't even recognize it at first. Most Netherese artifacts contain only the faintest amount of their former power, the ghost of an echo of a memory. That crown was different. I can't fathom how such a wonder survived. Surely everything of its ilk was destroyed along with Netheril itself, but no matter. It exists. I must learn more of it.
Une petite minute, pourquoi cette couronne est-elle si importante d'un seul coup?
That crown sits on a gargantuan elder brain bent on destroying us and everything we hold dear. Understanding its true nature might unlock the means of our victory. We need to learn more about what we saw. An artifact as powerful as that crown must have been documented somewhere. As luck would have it, we'll soon find ourselves near one of the finest book collections this side of Candlekeep, Sorcerer's Sundries. I need to go there and learn all I can.
Pourquoi une boutique de magie baldurienne serait-elle le premier endroit où entamer nos recherches?
Ha! Sorcerer's Sundries is no mere trading post. It's been serving the arcane community for centuries. Their collection of rare tomes is unparalleled. I mean, Netherese texts are hardly commonplace, but I'm certain they'll have one or two stashed away. You'll have to forgive my eagerness, but if my suspicions prove to hold water, this could be the answer to all our problems.
It's like your mind wants you dead.
Our enemies spread like rub rot. Treat one patch, and two more bloom in its place. An elder brain, bound by lost Netherese magic, with servants of the Dead Three holding the chain. Reminds me of old times.
Vous entendre, vous avez l'air d'être dans votre élément.
Aren't you?
Je me suis jamais autant amusé de toute ma vie.
It is good to savor the moment of victory. But pace yourself. Our fight is just beginning. When we met, I was licking my wounds. An old bear with her leg caught in the hunter's snare. Now I've slipped free of the trap and rediscovered my claws. It's time for me to hunt my prey. You have a nether stone, and you're on the scent of two more. These chosen have reason to fear you, and I would like to be at your side when you confront them.
Voulez-vous
Of
joindre à moi?
course, falling foul of Ketherick convinced me that my grand adventures were behind me. That even if I survived, I should hang up my blades. But you convinced me otherwise. We ventured into darkness together. Now we've come out the other side. I'd say I'm feeling a little refreshed. When we reach Baldur's Gate, there will be even darker paths to tread. I will follow you wherever they lead.
Entendu. Rendez-vous au camp.
How does it compare to a shadow-cursed inn? With the Absolute's army gone, the Risen Road should be clear. We can follow it all the way to Baldur's Gate. There's a Harper's safe house in Worm's Crossing. Denthalen's Dancing Axe. We'd do well to check in with them before entering the city proper. Beyond that, our course is yours to set. Find me at your camp, huh? I can remember how to take orders, as well as give them.
Si tu prends en forme. Oh, Mulan, t'as pas quelque chose à...
Right, what now?
Thaniel rests well. He's healing very rapidly, now that Oliver has returned to him. I knew I could put my faith in you. If only we had met sooner.
Qu'est-il advenu d'Oliver au juste? Est-ce que Daniel l'a absorbé?
No more than my right hand can absorb my left. Oliver is helping Thaniel to recover. They both lie dormant, like trees awaiting spring. Once the curse is lifted, they can stand as one or as a pair. Whatever they wish, I hope they will remain as a pair. It will be good for them both to have a friend, once I'm gone. Still, I would like to return here someday. See Thaniel and Oliver again. In my meditations, or perhaps in person, if the Oak Father wills it. I hope he does.
Maintenant, vous avez obtenu ce que vous vouliez, non?
I have. But perhaps there is more that I want. Anyway, once the curse is lifted, nature can take its course without me. I belong at your side.
Cette autre chose que vous pourriez vouloir, qu'est-ce que c'est?
Not what. Who. But all in due course.
Wouldn't have lasted long. When Duke Elton formed the Flaming Fist, he sought out people of courage and honor to fill its ranks. You saved Daniel, lifted the curse, and killed an immortal. It's safe to say you'd have been recruited in an instant.
Pendant toute ma jeunesse, j'ai entendu beaucoup d'histoires concernant le duc Elton. J'aimerais savoir comment il était.
Gruff and intimidating. But he had the courage of 10 men, and the love for Baldur's Gate few could match. I don't know if this Duke Ravengard is the same, but I will say this. The Flaming Fist are the cornerstone of the city, and the Dukes are its foundation. I hope you can save him, for the good of Baldur's Gate.
Accompagnez-moi, je pourrais avoir besoin de l'aide d'un pour enflammé.
Thank you, but look at me. I am a relic, a glimpse of history barely strong enough to stand on his own 2 feet. Besides, Nathaniel should have someone here when he wakes up. It's the least I can do.
Alors je vous souhaite bonne chance. Merci pour votre aide.
You too, my friend. Thank you. From Nathaniel and I.
What was it like in there?
In the curse. More horrible than you can imagine.
Helen! Isabel! My love. You were dead. I saw your body. I'm here. And so are you. And my father, he can't hurt us any longer. I dreamt every night that you'd come back to me. That somehow it was all a nightmare Dawn would undo.
I had no dreams at all. Nothing but darkness. And when I woke, my father said you were dead.
His soul was poisoned by the god of death. His sick devotion ruined him. But for all his sins, he brought you back to me. Are you all right?
I will be. And you? In this moment, I want for nothing. Ah, there you are. This
Elle
is
finit ensemble un hobgoblin quand même.
Aelin, this is... Oh, but we have met. This is the soldier that freed me most valiantly from the Shadowfell. They watched my boot crush the very brain of villainy, and fought well against your changed father. May he rest in peace at last, now that he's dead. I have more to thank you for than I knew, and we have much to discuss. Perhaps we could join you in your camp later?
J'ai bien entendu, vous êtes la fille de Kédéric?
I am. And I'm glad he's dead. But this is precisely what I want to speak to you about later. It'll keep. I promise.
Entendu, rendez-vous au camp.
Very good. We look forward to it.
Now you will leave us. We must take succor in one another's bodies and words.
Aelin! We'll see you later.
You did it. Catherick Thorm is no more. The Shadow's grip is broken. Soon, the land shall heal.
Le genre de prouesse qui mérite bien une récompense en somme.
I would agree. But patience is needed. Nature moves at its own pace and bestows its bounty when it sees fit. Give it time. A reward shall come to you when you need it most.
New perils await.
Boots have seen everything.
Beyond the horizon. A curse lifted. The dead three allied once more. The balance shifts. There are depths to this alliance yet unplumbed. Consider, mortal. Do illithids possess souls?
Je ne sais pas trop, tous les êtres vivants en ont une, non?
No. Nor canst thou count mind flayers among them. Yet, the three amass an illithid army void of apostolic souls that could imbue them with power. A flock without souls, yet to what end, mortal? This is the question thou must come to answer. Until such time, be availed of my services.
Ça m'étonne de vous voir ici, quelle est la raison de votre présence?
Where matters of balance are concerned, I am eternally cold.
Vous semblez en savoir beaucoup sur les trois dieux.
Yes, Bane, Lord of Darkness, Baal, Lord of Murder, Merkel, Lord of Bones. Once judged, ascended, then vanquished as one and as three. The alliance is reforged, mortal. The plains thus quake, and the gods shudder.
Parlez sans détour, vous ne pouvez rien me dire de plus?
No.
Les employés, je les ferai peut-être une autre fois. Prochain stream, je pense. Parce que je sais que chacun a une histoire et ça m'intéresse. Enfin, une histoire. Une histoire de comment ils sont morts. Allez. Il n'y a rien d'autre ici. Hein. Oui, Mathis. Ah, il y a les... Peut-être pouvoir leur dire.
Althera's writing us a song. A stupid song won't bring Mole back. Tell her, won't you?
Why, yes. Once Althera's done with this song, we will be looking for patrons. All coppers welcome, pal.
Miss Althera wants to write us a song about you fighting Catherine.
You're here. Good. That's good.
Ça va?
Me? Oh, I'm fine. I'm just worried about the kids. Mauler's still missing, and they haven't taken it too well. I've been trying to cheer them up. We're writing a song together. But I think they're just humoring me.
Je suis sûr qu'ils apprécient beaucoup ce que vous faites pour eux.
Maybe. I'd love to put on a show just for them. But it's boring if I'm the only one playing. I need another bard. Maybe I'll find one in the city. Until then, the kids and I shall work on our masterpiece.
Why are we still here? Grown-ups take forever. On second thoughts, I think we could be earning silver with this song.
Back in last light, I was racking my brains. How the hells do we get past the curse? And then a blinding light cuts through the darkness like a blade through butter. All thanks to you, I didn't think we'd make it without the old Hell Rider to lead us. But you did a damn fine job.
J'ai libéré Zevlor dans la colonie, ce qui signifie qu'il a toutes les chances d'être encore en vie.
I would. He didn't have any fight left in him.
C'est vrai, il n'aurait jamais accepté de me suivre au combat.
Briefest hesitation as Ceres wars with old loyalties and wins.
I looked up to him. We all did. But he let us down when we needed him most. There are less mouths to feed, but we still need supplies for the road. We'll scavenge what we can. Hopefully, we'll see you again in the city.
It's a grim task. But the way I hear it, the fighting's not done yet.
Truc à lui vendre?
You need to resupply. Lady Lightup.
and the shadows are lifting. In time, these lands will heal.
Gods be damned. With that parasite in his brain, Father could wreak untold havoc in the Absolute's name. Should Baldur's Gate fall to the Absolute, every one of the coast cities will be ripe for the plucking. We're not just fighting for our cure. We're fighting for my father. We're fighting for the Gate. We're fighting for all of Faerun.
Les serviteurs de l'Absolu détiennent Garde-Corbeau. Où risquent-ils de l'amener?
Worm's Rock Fortress. All travelers to Baldur's Gate flow through it. It serves as headquarters for the Flaming Fist and their commander, my father. The Absolute's army's on the march. Gods forbid a tadpole Grand Duke throw open the gates for them.
Que savez-vous au sujet de Gortash et d'Orin?
Orin? I'd never heard tell of, but Gortash I know. Or know of, more precisely. A self-styled strategic advisor to Baldur's Gate's peers. A bit player with dreams of a leading role, the way Father told it. He had no use for Gortash, and even less for his advice. I don't remember much beyond that. But where these Chosen are concerned, I have a suspicion we're about to know more than we'd like.
Misora a dit que vous pouviez parler de ce qui avait conduit à votre pacte et votre exil. Désormais, il est grand temps que je sache toute la vérité.
Yes, but first a question. If your home were under siege, what would you sacrifice to save it?
Mon clan et mon foyer. Je me ferai tailler en pièces pour assurer sa
Then you
sécurité.
know loyalty, and you know what I did had to be done. I was 17. Father, older Ravengard, had just been named a Grand Duke and was called away to Elturel to help settle a dispute. That's when the Cult of the Dragon made its move.
The Cult of the Dragon, a fractured religion. Some believers hold that undead dragons will inherit the world. Others worship the dragon goddess Tiamat and intend to summon her to Faerun.
Tiamat. Le culte du dragon avait réussi à infiltrer certains de ses membres au sein de la cité. Dans quel but?
To conjure the Dragon Queen and lay waste to Baldur's Gate. A 10-day after Father left, I heard a whisper as I slept. Duskhawk Hill. The Queen of Chaos awakens. Go alone. I grabbed a rapier and set out. There wasn't a cloud in the sky, yet not a single star was shining. There they were, gathered at the foot of the hill.
Your head tingles. Will wants to show you what happened. In the looming shadow of the mount, 5 groups of 5 figures each encircle a lofty totem. Atop each totem, a dragon's head is carved, and a massive orb held in its mouth. The cultists chant, first softly, then crying to the starless sky. There is a crack of thunder, a gust of wind, and a dragon's white head appears in the storm. The first of Tiamat's 5 heads. As the maelstrom howls, Mizora's lips press to your ear. She will destroy Baldur's Gate. Grant me your soul and I will give you the power to save it, she whispers.
She read the terms while 2 devils stood witness, and I said yes. 1 soul for 1 city.
J'imagine que Misora se fiche royalement de la porte de Baldur. Pourquoi diable voudrait-elle la sauver? Je pense qu'elle voulait éviter le retour de Tiamat en fait.
She didn't. She came on order of her mistress, Zariel. Tiamat made a play for power. Zariel had other plans. That was the most Mizora's ever said. All that mattered was that she got her prize. Another pet added to her warlock menagerie.
frère, le grand-duc.
He returned to an unsuspecting city and a wayward son with a smirking devil at his side. I tried to tell him the truth, but my mouth couldn't form the words. I'd led him to the battlefield, but Mazora had swept it clean. After, he said only one word. Go. So I did.
Sacrifier votre âme pour sauver la cité, ça c'est particulièrement courageux.
I don't know that it was brave. I just know that it was right. The moment I agreed, I burned with the fires of Avernus and oozed the rot of Dis. The cultists choked on our poisons and burned from our flames. And when we were done, all that remained were 5 greyed orbs atop a pile of ash. My soul was bound, and my lips were sealed.
C'est comme ça que vous avez perdu votre œil dans la bataille contre le culte?
It is the one scar I ever bore of it. Mizora replaced it with a sending stone. She uses it to track my location and speak from a distance. I could flee to the spine of the world or the depths of the lower dark and still never shake her. I understand. No, he did the only thing he could. In his eyes, I invited a devil into our midst. I was a fool and Grand Duke Ravengard suffers neither. The better question is, did
Wish we could stay and see what this place will be like without the shadows. I bet it's beautiful. No rest for the wicked, huh?
Dites-moi plus sur votre relation avec Gortash.
He got his claws into me early. I was a wild kid, brawling my way through the city. One of my mates got wind of a bit of work, guarding some indoorsy type with lots of enemies. Seemed like easy money, so I went in for it. He took one look at me and said I was perfect. I like that. Not like that, you know. Just... it felt like a good fit. I kept him safe and he paid me well. Well enough to move into a better neighborhood and put something away for the future. My future. I respected him, trusted him. And he returned that trust, that respect. His life was in my hands, and I took that seriously. The whole thing with Zariel happened so fast. I had no idea what had gone down until it was over. One minute I was in Baldur's Gate, a happy, healthy, not quite kid. The next, I was burning up in Avernus with an engine for a heart. Zariel laughed. Said she paid him well for my services. She'd wanted to test her new machine, and he said I'd be able to handle it. He was right. Sometimes I wish he weren't. Evil, evil bastard. Darling?
I would not linger in this land over long. But whatever your business, I will aid you if I can.
I swear, I can already feel a change in the air. Like the curse itself knows its time is short. I can't say for certain, but We'll see it come to pass long before this place recedes behind us. Don't worry. All is at hand. We can depart whenever you're ready.
If Bowman says I'll be alright, I'll be alright. I just wish... I wish it was different. I wish Mom and Pops was here.
Tu es très forte, tu sais. Il serait très fier de toi s'il pouvait te voir.
I don't feel so strong. Or anything, really. Just tired.
I think we've done rather a good thing here. A welcome change to gift this land a sliver of hope amongst so much despair.
Tu m'as l'air très empressé de te joindre à moi. Tu n'as pas envie de servir l'absolu?
Absolute? The Absolute does not care about us. And we do not care about the Absolute. We are different. And we are saved. Friend!
Est-ce que d'attirer l'attention sur nous si les gens te voient?
We will not cause you any trouble, friend! We will project a different form that will cloak us from all but your closest acquaintances. You and your friends shall see us as we truly are. All others shall see a kitty, a small predator, indigenous to this world. They kitties can walk anywhere, and they are most cunning.
The shadows are losing their grip on these lands. Shah can indeed be thwarted. Comforting to know. You wanted something? I'm sorry.
I never saw myself as a banisher of shadows before. I was always more of a lurker-in, historically.
There you are. I have awaited your arrival with great anticipation. Come closer. Feel my voice rattle your bones as I proclaim our victory. Moon Maiden Selûne, hear me. Ketheric Thorm, traitor, apostle of Merkel, is dead at last. My mate, Most High. Darling Isabel is safe and well. Safe and well, and return to my embrace. Blessings upon the slayer of the Wicked One.
Je n'aurais jamais pu y arriver sans vous.
We are a powerful party indeed. Faerun itself trembles at our touch. My darling Isabel says we will stay allied at your side. I am pleased to hear it.
Comment comptez-vous profiter de votre liberté retrouvée?
I am free from my bonds, but not my duty. The dead 3 are risen. The dead 2 remain. You must face them. I will help.
Encore pas mal de trucs que j'ignore à notre
Pray,
sujet.
ask, and I will tell.
Êtes-vous vraiment la fille de Selûne?
Do I not radiate with my mother's brightness, her glory? There can be no doubt. I am of her silvered flesh, her celestial womb.
Votre mère serait-elle disposée à nous aider dans la lutte contre les trois Dumas?
Why, she already has. She has brought her sword to your side, Dame Aile. So mighty are her wonders, her great wisdom. Together, we will set this fair land free of tyranny and murder.
Comment vous êtes-vous retrouvé prisonnier?
Ketheric Thorm, father of my one and only love, enslaver of Dame Aelin. Ketheric Thorm never did trust me, even when he worshipped the Moon Maiden. He was threatened by my love for Isabel, by her love for me. When she died, curse the day, the hour. We each of us mourned bitterly. But Ketheric's pain could be touched by no aid, no boundary. He turned to wretched Shah, the Lady of Loss, for relief. And she whispered into his ear, poisoning his mind. He and his loathsome advisor, Balthazar, lured me into the Shadowfell, claimed they'd found someone in need of my aid. There, they trapped me in their infernal cage. I was killed, murdered, made dead over and over and over by justiciars of every make and kind. I was reborn, for it is my nature. And Ketheric fed upon my immortality all the while. But lo, the brute is dead, and we live! Be gone, friend. I have a darling to adore.
Vous avez prétendu connaître des choses sur Ombrecoeur. Quand comptez-vous lui
In
révéler?
due time, Mother Selûne will tell me when the time is right. Painful truths should be handled with some decorum. Be gone, friend. I have a darling to adore. Our thoughts are as one, my friend. You must face the chosen of Bane and Baal. I will do my part to see them laid low. Pray, ask, and I will tell.
Qu'est-ce que tu voulais me dire, toi?
I can't believe Aelin is here. And my father. I heard what happened. What he'd become. By killing him. You set him free. You set Aelin free. And me.
Eileen et vous semblez vous connaître depuis longtemps. Que vous est-il arrivé?
A great deal. But still, some of the details elude me. Ketheric Thorm was my father. He raised me to serve Selûne as my mother, rest her soul, had wished. He was everything to me, all my life. When an emissary of Selûne came to our little town, we were elated. Dame Aelin, daughter of the Moon Maiden herself. Tell me, do you believe in love at first sight?
Et j'imagine que vous avez dû être ébloui par sa beauté.
You sound like my father. But it was more than that. This was no mere attraction. It was love. Lucky for me, she felt the same way. But my father was skeptical. Aelin is immortal, after all. I understand it's strange. There's an imbalance between us, certainly. But I suppose loving Aelin felt the same as loving myself. It was natural. Then... And this is where I still need answers. I died. I'm not sure how, why, but all was black. Next I knew, I was being jolted awake. I smelled musty air, I saw shadows. And then my father's face. So changed. So hideously warped.
Il était devenu l'élu du
I
Mercure.
didn't know that then, but I could see the change in him. He told me we'd be together now. Said that Aelin was dead. I couldn't speak. Could only run. I found last light within the shadows. Made a shelter there. Prayed my father wouldn't find me. By the time Jahira came, I'd pieced together just enough to know I'd been dead 100 years. That my father was the source of the horrors plaguing this land. My home. I couldn't tell her who I was. I had to protect them. And myself. No matter what.
Donc vous avez menti quant à votre identité.
I did. Who would trust the next of kin of Ketheric's Thorm? But I have no more secrets. It's all out in the open now, and with my father dead, I have nothing to fear. Except for Aelin. She needs healing, rest. I'm grateful for your help, your friendship. I hope we won't intrude on your hospitality too long, but I'm grateful for a safe place to, well, just to be. Looking forward to a bit of rest, if I'm honest. It's been a long century.
Be gone, friend. I have a darling to pray, ask, and I will.
Si elle a quelque chose à me dire, on va refaire un tour.
I would not linger in this land over long, but...
Darling?
I swear, I can already feel it.
I guess I can...
Thou hast now a bosom companion. Take care that thou art not distracted on thy quest, seeking the comforts of the flesh.
Inutile de bouder, je veux vraiment rendre Karlach heureuse.
Recall that in time, all becomes dust and bone. Fate spins. Dost thou require a new ally? Or mayhaps a...
What's on your mind?
Bon bah... Vraiment personne n'a quelque chose à me dire à part toi.
Looking forward to a bit of rest.
What do you know about me? You spoke of my past. Being chased by wolves. I told no one about that. Almost no one. But I certainly didn't share that with you.
There is nothing I can tell you that you do not already know yourself. They trained you well, trained you hard. Chiseled away any part of you that did not fit their plan. They made you forget.
I chose to do that. For the mission to protect Shaz.
Secrets. Yes, yes, that is an old song, girl. Your goddess cares more for her precious secrets than she does her devotees.
Get to the point.
When you freed me, you severed a bond between me and that dog, Thorm. A bond of pain. His, inflicted on me. When I laid eyes on you, I sensed a similar bond. You, tethered to two others. Someplace distant. Let me help you remember.
You feel Shadowheart's mind tug at the edges of your own. You know this sensation. She wants you to see whatever is about to be revealed. Your mind joins with Shadowheart's. Something pulls at you both, bringing you elsewhere. Something sparks in your memory. Teachings about Selûnite rites of passage, about how they would abandon their children out in the wilds and force them to find their way home. It seems that one child never came back. She was taken.
What? Who was that man?
You already know. Did you not see yourself in him? Do you not recognize your own blood?
My father. That was him.
That is him. He lives still. And your mother, too.
No. It can't be. I'm an orphan.
And who told you that? Your adoptive family? You are not to blame. You were young, impressionable. They took you because they wanted to break and remake you. But you are a child no longer. You are a woman. One who knows what must be done.
My parents. I need to save them.
Ça signifie qu'à l'origine, vous étiez Sélunite.
I don't know.
Your parents both followed the Moon Maiden. I could sense their faith, even in a brief glimpse of the past.
It is a tragedy that the Moon Maiden's right was perverted by Shah. Your future was stolen from you.
Oh, je vous y aiderai.
Your parents are with your abductors. You will need to return to their lair. But be warned. You may have once thought of them as comrades, mentors, friends, even lovers. They will all be enemies now. You have been forewarned for what is to come, but not yet forearmed.
Vous voulez parler de la lance de la nuit? Je pensais qu'elle avait été jetée dans le gisement.
I was able to retrieve it before it sank too far into Shah's umbral domain. Shah is quick to discard whatever she has no use for. I think you know that well enough. But I felt it call to me as I took flight. Whatever Shah calls her own, Selûne has equal claim to. They are one and the same. Their power is matched and mirrored. Take it. You will find it useful. What you do with it, that will be up to you. Same as before.
I'll need every advantage, it seems. Thank you.
A debt repaid. You returned my life unto me. Now go and claim your own.
It hurts.
Shah torments you still. What a spiteful creature she is. This will not stop until you take action. See that your parents' sacrifices are not in vain. Allow the Moon Maiden to guide you at last.
Maîtrise pas les hallebardes, ce couillon non plus. Gaspiller celui-là. Le coffre. Plus 2, tu fais 3, 12, 11. Il est pas demain celui-là. Non mais ça fait folie. Ouais, je pourrais mettre ça. Celle-là.
Looking ahead. Moving in.
We leave the heart of the Absolute alive. Thanks to you. You did well to defeat Ketheric. But Ketheric was only the first to fall. There are many more battles ahead, and they will not be so easily won. You will need allies.
C'est pour ça que j'ai recruté JR.
Jahira's wisdom will be an asset to you on the journey ahead. Her harpers too. Halsin's strength and loyalty will bolster you in times of need. But if we are to succeed, we will need others.
Sera-t-il la moindre âme qui vive quand nous arriverons en ville?
Even if the buildings are demolished, there are always survivors. There are always those who will fight. Baldur's Gate may not know it yet, but its fate is bound to ours. Seek on its streets those whose purpose aligns with our own, and invite them to our cause. Together, we will put an end to the Absolute, the Chosen, all.
Leave them be.
Fair enough.
The road to Baldur's Gate is west of the town. If we hurry, we'll arrive before the Absolute's forces.
Whatever awaits us on the road ahead, we can at least be proud that the Shadow Curse is no more.
The Absolute's armies are on the march, and Baldur's Gate is their target.
The curse has been lifted, the lands cleansed of the shadows. Ketheric's reign of living death is over. Your courage has been tested, and in this at least, you have triumphed.
What? Le jeu il a quitté.
Absolute's armies are on the march, and Baldur's Gate is their target.
The curse has been lifted. The land's cleansed of the shadows. Your courage has been tested.
Sergeant, if you are here, I presume Wern's Rock is secure, and preparations for my inauguration are complete.
No, Lord Gortash. We were interrupted. Another quake in the lower city. More severe this time.
So you came cowering to my chambers? I'm flattered, Sergeant. But even I cannot command natural phenomena to cease.
Forgive me, my lord, but there is panic in the streets. The people are afraid.
Perhaps the people would be calm if you kept your nerve. I expect better from the flaming fist than to run scared from a slight tremor in the earth. Get back to your duties.
Duties, duties, duties. Patrolling and saluting and following and bowing and scraping and yes sir, no sir, rip and cut your throat, sir. Your plan is falling apart, lordling. Give me a reason not to cut you to ribbons.
Control yourself, Orin. We need to focus on reuniting the stones or the brain will break free. These quakes are just the start. Neither of us expected the prison bearers to kill Ketherick. They'll be traveling to the city. Let's make sure we give them a Baldurian welcome.
I itch to peel you, to split your skin, to see your skull shine in the light. Little tyrant. Lucky for you, I harvested a whole family of living flesh in Rivington at high sun. They will sate my blade thirst tonight. Oh, but tomorrow, and tomorrow, and tomorrow, and tomorrow, my blades will thirst again.
Beyond the campsite, the city waits in uneasy silence, one sleep away.
Very well.
Pretty cool.
Shadowheart has found a little bit of herself again. Seluna cannot take all of the credit. She may have lit the way, but it is the cleric who took this step.
Maintenant que nous sommes compagnons de voyage, je réalise que je ne sais pas grand-chose de vous.
That speaks well of your taste. I've heard my share of bad ballads about things I never did. If you have questions, ask. Just don't expect my answers to rhyme.
C'est vrai que vous avez déjà affronté les trois d'humains.
It was Baal alone we faced in our time. And bad as that was, he had no elder brain for a lapdog then. Help won't come from the history books, or from any old tales I can spin you. This is your story to write. There. Have I fulfilled my role as your wise and wizened elder?
Sage et décati. Allons, il n'y a qu'un seul adjectif de ces... Il n'y a qu'un seul de ces adjectifs qui vous qualifie.
Don't tell me which. Against all life experience, I will choose to assume the best. Ask it.
Vous avez dit savoir des choses sur Easy-Litid.
More than I would like. In my youth, I was a brief and very much unwilling member of a colony's hive mind. I felt the way they think, saw the world as they do. Foul, unnatural creatures who find the foulness in us and twist it to their will. But then, who am I speaking to? You have far more experience than I.
Qui vous adressez-vous justement? Peut-être que je suis le parasite et que j'ai pris le contrôle du corps de mon hôte.
Then, greetings, Sir Tadpole. I was wondering where all the questions suddenly sprang from.
Looks empty.
Taken from the light to be raised in the truth is finally dawning. Shadowheart can follow its light, or she can retreat back into dusk.
Shadowheart was no true child of Shah, merely a captive. She must have her vengeance. I've been lied to. My whole life. And I was gullible enough to just believe it. My parents are alive, and I have to save them. I think a part of me always knew that. A part that Shah denied to me.
Vous avez été obligé de mener une existence de mensonge. Au moins maintenant la vérité commence à émerger.
Indeed. But the truth may yet prove painful. Who knows what Shah still keeps from me? We'd better press on for now, and hope we're ready when the moment comes. But before that, there's one thing I need to see to.
C'est-à-dire?
You'll see for yourself soon enough. Just leave it with me. Fine. What's on your mind? I wasn't expecting it, but I'm glad to have some company on this journey. I wasn't expecting it,
Poor Shadowheart. She's been jerked around so much. I want to believe the gods keep this world balanced, but sometimes I wonder.
Looking forward to a bit of rest if I'm...
Begone, friend. I have a darling to adore.
Painful truths have been thrust upon Shadowheart. I believe she is strong enough to endure, but her path will be easier with our support.
At least Shadowheart is armed with the truth now. May its keen edge draw forth whatever vengeance she desires.
The gate is closed, as is Cazador. And we are no closer to knowing why that bastard is so obsessed with getting me back. I think we should track down my fellow Spawn. I'm not exactly looking forward to a reunion, but perhaps they'll know something. If we can find them, we can force them to tell us what he's been doing since I was gone. And honestly, I imagine they'll be coming for me in the night if I don't.
Où peuvent-ils bien se trouver?
Unless Cazador's changed their orders, they'll be in the dens of this town, seeking prey. We should get to them first. Then we can make their pretty tongues talk. So, it's a quest to free and here I was, worried I'd be the only one with a difficult family reunion waiting in the city.
Almost pleasant traveling with company. Almost pleasant traveling with company. I'd join you, but things are looking a tad wonderful.
Shouldn't have wished to live in more interesting times.
The events of the last days weigh heavily upon you. Sleep's rest is slow to come to one whose mind is so full. The Absolute is not a god, but an elder brain controlled by the chosen of the Dead Three. They mean to use it to take control of the Sword Coast. All who carry the tadpole are governed by the brain, and by extension the chosen. It will take but one order to transform them into an army of mind flayers. This would have been your fate too, were it not for the astral prison, and the mysterious visitor inside of it. With her help, you have uncovered the cult for what it really is. A plan of conquest orchestrated by the gods of death themselves. Together, you have the power to thwart the Dead Three. If you follow this path to its end, the Elder Brain will not answer to the Chosen. It will answer to you. Will you liberate them from their parasites and their religious delusions? Or will you use the power you gain for your own purposes?
Je vois ce qui me paraît juste le moment en fait.
You will not have long to wait. All you need to do now is sleep. But sleep is not for you.
The reckoning is upon us! The city thirsts for domination. March! Join power.
We're under. Fight your way to the portal. I need your help.
Here we go again.
Oh l'erreur.
Covered.
Die, you little harborer!
Tadpole scum! Hataka! Victory is assured. Rook to Queen 6.
Come quickly! I can't do this without you.
Swift as my feet can carry me.
Vol.
Bye forever, pal.
Gistavsky!
Oh, mets de la mauvaise volonté, toi.
I don't fancy their chances.
More are coming. Hurry, or we will all become thralls.
Another fight. Let's go.
That orb's about to explode. I speak from some experience.
I'm here. Help me. I'm under attack.
Can't give up now. I'll feel that one later.
Making me sweat.
Directly.
Wits and blades, always sharp.
Still on my feet. Never a dull moment. No time for mercy.
Need to act fast.
T'as évité de leur balancer une colonne de femmes. Ah non mais pas niveau 4. On peut exagérer. Je vais vite faire ça. 65. Oh.
Moving.
May the dice roll in my favor.
You will be cleansed.
Nice.
to the skull.
Need to find a way forward.
Ou est-ce que ça serait pas ceux qui chevauchent
I can't hold them back alone.
Il y a toujours ça là. T'inquiète là, mensonge.
Save your thoughts for later.
It's not over. Come to the skull. I need you now. It's not over. Come to the skull.
Il y en a un qui est à la traîne encore. Ah putain, c'est gay.
Ready and willing. Adventure awaits.
What to do with haste?
Before you do anything, I am your ally. We are in danger.
Oh, shit. A mind flayer.
The Githyanki is the source of our protection against the Absolute. I must subdue him, or everything we've worked towards is lost. Don't let my form deceive you. I am the one that's been protecting you. I am the one that came to you in your dreams. Help me.
Que voulez-vous que je fasse?
The Honor God. Eliminate them. My force is awakened by their assault. But with your help, we can turn this around. Destroy the Guard. I will subdue their master.
Tenter de lire l'esprit d'un flagelleur mental. Ça c'est couillu.
Despite your best attempts to be subtle, the Mind Flayer's awareness is everywhere. You blunder in its presence like a walk pup learning to walk.
You must be joking. I am telling you my thoughts directly into your head. But if you insist on taking a look for yourself, be my guest.
Nothing in your colorful existence to date could have prepared you for this. As the horror subsides, you are left with only one coherent thought. You must do whatever you can to subdue the Githyanki.
Happy? Now, join me. Fight!
Ah, c'est vrai qu'il nous aide depuis le début.
Together, we can turn the tide.
Est-ce qu'il y a son nom à lui? Orphélis, oui. Moi je vais aider les Githyanki c'est des trous du cul. Faut combien?
Choice but to keep going.
Destroy the Honor Guard.
Shall
be done.
Battle of wits.
Oh, lui, si j'arrive. Ah merde, j'ai plus de niveau 5. Bon, tant pis.
On it.
Oui, c'est fait.
Well, so much for peace.
Oh, tu la pistonnes. Pas décidément.
The witching hour.
Il sort là. Ah mais si, tu peux faire ça. Ah mais ça le compte pas. Tu. C'est un peu extrême de balancer la foudre. 3 des 10.
I must regain control over the Githyanki prince.
baby.
Thank you. That was too close. Don't look at me like that. I am a mind flayer. Yes. Without me, you would be a slave to the Absolute.
Of all the things to be indebted to, a bloody mind flayer.
Pour la énième édition, qui êtes-vous? Et je veux un nom cette fois.
You may call me the Emperor.
Je la bête.
An adventurer. I came from Baldur's Gate, though I was never one to be constrained by circumstance. I longed for more. That longing brought me to Moonrise Towers on a search for treasure. To a colony of mind flayers who caught me, changed me into what I am now. For years, I served the Elder Brain, the one you know as the Absolute. I was a thrall like any other, but I was fortunate. I broke free and started a new life in my old city. I sustained myself on criminals, unglamorous, but there are plenty of them, rarely missed, and they fueled me while I did my work. I had the good fortune to meet Duke Stelmane. We formed a partnership, and through her, I became the governing force behind the Knights of the Shield, the largest mercantile operation in Baldur's Gate. People referred to me as the Emperor. Such was my influence, though of course they had no idea what I really was. My needs were sated. I was happy for a while, until my true nature was discovered by the tyrant himself, Lord Gortash. He tore me from my home and brought me back to the Brain, where I became a slave once again. A slave he continued to call the Emperor. The name was intended as a slight, to remind me of the heights from which I fell. But I have grown fond of it. It encapsulates well who I've become.
Le Seigneur Gortash était l'un des élus dans la colonie.
Indeed. His hubris knows no bounds. To enslave me, that was his nature. But to enslave an Elder Brain, a questionable decision. I shall look forward to sharing his downfall with you.
Vous allez me dire à quoi rimer cette bataille?
We fought to tame Prince Orpheus, the son of Gith herself. His power has been the source of your continued protection against the voice of the Absolute. The power to disrupt hive mind communication. It is the same power that enabled Orpheus, his mother, to bring about the fall of the Illithid Empire eons ago. A power she passed on to him, and that I leveraged for you. When Orpheus's mother left, a usurper took her place. Vlaakith declared herself queen of the Githyanki. Vlaakith wanted his power, but Orpheus rose against her, and so she sealed him and his honor guard within this prison. Bound by infernal chains, Orpheus could never leave. Bound by duty, his guard never would. They were close to breaking my hold on that prince. And if they had succeeded, we would be lost. I am relieved. You have embraced your potential enough that you could help me eliminate them. Alone, Orpheus will be much easier to control.
Qui Vlaakith était la mort quand elle nous a ordonné d'entrer à l'intérieur du prisme? Ou Orpheus?
Most certainly Orpheus. He is a threat to her reign. Some Githyanki still revere him, in defiance of their teachings. Blackith was safe as long as they believed him to be dead. But as you can see, he is very much alive. She kept him this way because she was reluctant to eradicate such power. Power that she might one day wish to take from him. If the Githyanki ever find out what she has done, there will be civil war. Blackith will be finished.
Vous aussi, vous avez été emprisonné ici?
No. Gortash sent me on a mission to retrieve the astral prism. I was one of many, but the first to find it. How Gortash or the other chosen learned of its existence, I do not know. The moment I found it, I felt a change. My free will returning. I followed the feeling inside, and found Orpheus. I realized what the prism was for. Containment. While my body was within the prison's bounds, my mind was free. I could resist the Elder Brain, the Chosen. Better yet, I could plan to overthrow them. All I needed to do was subdue Orpheus and find allies in the outer world. You.
Que se passerait-il si on le libérait?
That would be a terrible idea. The moment he is free, he will attack you. Your only defense would be to kill him, and in so doing, he would doom us both.
Even though he is subdued, you feel Orpheus's revulsion, a pulsing hatred that cannot be contained. The Emperor is telling the truth. To him, you are just another wretched illithid.
You carry a tadpole. As far as Orpheus is concerned, you are already a Lithid, a sworn enemy, just like me.
Je vous écoute, moi j'ai l'impression d'être face à un flasheur mental.
I appreciate that, but this is what I am. My original body was destroyed when I transformed. When I first escaped the Elder Brain, I searched for a new vessel. But the longer I inhabited this one, the more it grew on me. I realized that returning to my former self would only impose limitations. Any advantage I could gain by restoring my original appearance, I already had to hand in the form of magic, and that humanoid shape you've come to know. As an Illithid, I have far surpassed who I ever was before. You too should embrace this change.
Pourquoi tant d'efforts pour me convertir?
I believe we'll have a better chance of defeating the Elder Brain if you embrace your latent Illithid potential. I've been studying you for a while now. I believe I can trigger the next stage of your tadpole's life cycle, while continuing to preserve your independence. You have seen what I can do. Imagine yourself with the same strength, the same intelligence, the same devastating beauty. If you let me, I can evolve you.
Quels seraient les effets d'une telle évolution?
You will be able to do things you never thought were possible. There will be physical alterations, of course, but only partial. You will retain most of your current form, and you will soon see that the benefits outweigh any perceived loss.
Vous êtes vraiment en mesure de me faire évoluer. Comment se fait-il que vous ne puissiez pas interrompre la cérémorphose?
The answer is twofold. One, I can, but it would kill you, as I told you before. Two, why would I? You have done well with the limited form you have, but you would do far better as an Illithid. So, do you wish to evolve or not?
J'ai déjà pris le chemin. Puis un dragon à tentacules. Ça se fait.
Well,
certainly brave of you. I'll say that much.
You continue to surprise me. Your mind is truly something special. Now, hold out your hand. It wants to evolve, but it cannot do so alone. It must commune with another.
Curiosité. Quoi?
The tadpole screams for growth with painful intensity. It has been starved of life, of purpose. It welcomes your probing like a void waiting to be filled. If you let it, it will evolve you, just as the Emperor said.
A tadpole, nurtured by the psionic energy of the astral plane, cocooned here for millennia. It has become extraordinary.
A coldness seeps through your veins as the tadpole awakens, its yearning almost unbearable. Your mind is a veritable feast. The tadpole's essence courses through you. Where it touches, your flesh, glands, organs contract and flood with pure thought. You feel different. Your body has never felt more connected. Your mind present in every flex of a joint or muscle.
You are exquisite. When your allies see what you can do, I hope you encourage them to try it for themselves. But we mustn't lose focus. We need to resume our journey. You heard the Chosen. The brain has gone to the city, and the army marches to follow. We must not let them reach it. We must find the brain and bring it under our control.
J'allais dire, si aucun d'eux n'avait un cadeau. Non, ça va.
All right. What's this?
Looking ahead.
Des dessins allégoriques recouvrant un texte oublié, deux personnages, une femme à la prestance royale et un diable arborant un rictus ironique dont les mains se croisent pour s'échanger un artefact qui n'est autre que le prisme astral. Ah mais il a dit, si je le libère, ils vont m'attaquer, il va m'attaquer. Mais du coup... Forme de bête éclipsante, vous transformer en bête. Action de classe, crée un lieu magique permettant aux créatures qui se trouvent à l'intérieur d'utiliser leurs actions et leurs actions bonus de manière interchangeable. Vous connaissez mieux que jamais ce qui vous permet de bénéficier d'un bonus d'expertise à votre test de persuasion, de tromperie et de deception. Attends, j'en ai 12. Bah ok, bon, en fait je peux tout prendre. Vous avez accepté de la sérimorphose. Devenant un demi-liquide, vous pouvez désormais utiliser des pouvoirs psioniques encore plus puissants. Oh ouais, il est tapé maintenant. Contact de cool.
So, there's been a mind flayer inside the artifact, or astral prism, the whole time we've had it. Sounds like utter madness, even though I've seen it with my own eyes. The more I learn, the less I understand just why I was sent to retrieve that thing. But it matters little now. I do not serve Shah anymore, nor the Mother Superior. The prism is no longer my mission. Saving my parents is. But I digress. Did you want something?
Je peux m'amuser à tous les corrompre. Oh, je vais faire un groupe liquide. Ils vont tous devenir...
I haven't even dared to use the more benign forms of illithid powers. Do you really think I'm eager to jump to the next step? Do you know what this entails? Well, of course you do. but I don't want that for myself.
Un gros petit liquide. Foutre le bordel. Croyez-moi, vous allez adorer. Nous avons besoin de ces pouvoirs et vous allez adorer ce que vous pourrez faire une fois que vous les aurez.
Fine. I truly hope you're right about this.
Life pulses from within. The parasite's thoughts whisper at the edge of your mind. It wants to share itself with you. It wants to be let in.
Go on. Don't be afraid. It only wants to help you evolve.
A coldness seeps through your veins as the tadpole awakens. Its yearning almost unbearable. Your mind is a veritable feast. The tadpole's essence courses through you. Where it touches, your flesh, glands, organs contract and flood with pure thought. You feel different. Your body has never felt more connected. Your mind present in every flex of a joint or muscle.
Perhaps, once the others see what you can do.
Whatever comes, I'm ready.
Ah, ça lui donne les capacités de base du coup.
What's next, I wonder?
Alright, what now? Never wanted the easy part.
Petit groupe des liquides.
Darling?
De toute façon, elle est condamnée, elle va exploser.
Special tadpole? Bit of a contradiction in terms, don't you think? I don't even want a regular one. You're talking about turning into what? A half squid? Then again, you can pull it off better than most.
J'ai dit que j'allais faire tout le gros. Ouh 7. Ah oui, effectivement. Elle a confiance en moi.
You've got to be kidding. You really want me to become a partial illithid? Wasn't a decade in Avernus punishment enough?
Si nous gagnons, nous serons enfin libres. Vraiment libres. Oh, le petit échec critique. Hein. Deux fois par contre.
Oh, I'm that easy to manipulate, am I? Where's that bloody worm? Stick it in my eye before I change my mind.
Life, it wants to share itself with...
Go on. Don't be afraid. It only wants to help you.
A coldness seeps through your veins as the tadpole awakens. Its yearning almost... The tadpole, you feel different.
Perhaps, once the others see what you can do.
Il y en a un, j'ai pas besoin de le convaincre. Il est où le vampire? Il est où Astarion? Astarion, je vais lui dire hey, j'ai un truc pour faire évoluer la larve. En cours.
Quite a rug pull, eh? A mind flayer, man. Such creatures are not to be trusted as a general rule, though this one does appear to have had a significant hand in us. At best, an ally whose motivations remain shrouded in deceit. We should be wary of what such an alliance may cost us.
Nous a remis.
I can only imagine what I could do were I to adopt the biology of a mind flayer. Certainly doesn't seem to have done you any harm. Or rather, you've not yet done me any harm. Still, there are undoubtedly risks to such a transformation.
Vous utiliserez ce pouvoir avec responsabilité, ça c'est... Peu nombreux sont ceux à qui j'accorderai une telle confiance. Oh, 18, ah oui, lui il est moins con que les autres quand même. Moins con que les autres, mais j'ai un gros bonus.
If this is what the fates have offered to aid our cause, then who am I to refuse? I'll take your chapel. Let's see what it has to offer.
Life pulses, it wants to
go on. Don't be.
A coldness seeps through the tadpoles as you feel.
Perhaps.
These boots have seen everything.
Pas le vampire là? Il est où le vampire? Ah mais il n'y a que les membres de mon groupe là. Putain. Qui veut nous parler? Oh! Oh ouais, les ailes. Oh oui. Oh ouais. Ça c'est mes couillons.
Be honest. What do you think of the new look? Well, I'm glad someone does. Perhaps I'll get used to it. I have a lot to get used to right now.
Love Shadowheart's new look. Softer, less severe. It suits her.
Juste après avoir bouffé la larve. Voilà. J'ai un petit cadeau pour toi, Will. Oh, t'es pas un pacte de merde.
Yes.
Un pacte à la con.
Great cost, partial ceremorphosis. I won't begrudge you your choice. As for me, though, I'm not ready. I might never be.
Sérieux, je peux le convaincre avec le pouvoir? Oh oui.
Yes. I can feel its energy, its essence filling me to near bursting. Very well. I will avail myself of the astral tadpole's powers.
Oh, le bouffe.
I'm up for the challenge. You've just got to make a little space. I like how you...
Life pulses from what it wants to.
Go on.
A cold the tadpoles you feel.
Perhaps, once the others see what you can.
at heart.
Invocation occulte. Ah oui. Dans le chair, métamorphose.
Still alive. So that's progress.
Your parasite communes with Lae'zel's. Her heart races as she learns of the events inside the astral prism.
Orpheus, Gith's only son. He lives. It is not the Geich visitor that Vlaakith would destroy and Voss would set free. It is Orpheus, the blood of the mother, the prince of the comet.
Notre guide onirique est un flagelleur mental, ne trouvez-vous pas cela autrement plus inquiétant?
The Emperor, yes. A stunning revelation. But not so stunning as the prisoner. Listen close. The Emperor spoke only in half-truths. For you to know the tale of Orpheus, you must know the tale of Gith and of Vlaakith. Long ago, when we rose up against our gay slavers, Mother Gith made for the Hells to secure an alliance with the archdevil Tiamat. Tiamat gifted the Githyanki our red dragons. Gith remained in the Hells, and Tiamat's envoy proclaimed Vlaakith our ruler. The first Vlaakith of many. It is Vlaakith 157 whom my people now call Queen.
157e, ça fait beaucoup.
Yes.
Our current queen has claimed undeath and reigned for 1,000 years. But it was the first whom Orpheus tried to slay. Orpheus is Gith's only son. He led his mother's own honor guard in a coup against Vlaakith I. It was Kithrak Voss himself who slayed the prince in vicious battle, or so the Varshes teach us. Yet the Prince of the Comet's been with us, subdued by that repugnant Illithid. Should Orpheus go free, he would tear Vlaakith's empire to pieces and build new glory from the scraps. We meet Voss in the city, and we obtain the key to freeing Orpheus from his prison. Every word Voss spoke, he spoke true. Orpheus is the living proof of the Queen's lies, and the living weapon that conquered our Geich slavers. One word from his lips, and the people would doubt. 2 words, and they would rage. 3 words, and they would bow to the true heir. If the Githyanki are to be free, the Prince of the Comet must lead the way. What about him?
L'appelle-t-on le prince de la comète?
The historical slates describe Orpheus as a fearsome, terrible creature, powerful beyond measure, and enthralled by the Geich. So mad with power, he'd smash through the Githyanki Empire and deliver the shards to his Illithid masters. And glowing with such psionic force that he and his red dragon blazed a trail through the skies. A lethal comet careening towards my people. Lies, of course. Vlaakith spread a false image of Orpheus as monstrous betrayer, and her knights as the butchers who sliced him through. She was right to fear him, I'll grant her that. So great is the comet, it could shatter her reign. The Emperor may be loathsome, but it's right. Orpheus can disrupt a Geich hive mind. A talent like that makes the Prince a powerful shield and a powerful weapon. Why destroy a weapon like that, when you can contain it in a relic and keep it for yourself? Orpheus is honor guard, loyal to the end. Trapped by Vlaakith in the same prism holding their noble prince, fruitlessly hacking at the sphere that contains him. They see us as Geich, tadpoled husks in the Emperor's thrall. I regret their deaths, but I pledge to live as they perished, in the service of Gith's son.
Pourquoi Vlaakith veut-elle la mort d'Orpheus maintenant alors?
A weapon is only an asset for as long as it isn't pointed at you. The means of Vlaakith's own end has been ripped away from her. Better to have Orpheus killed than to risk his escape. Better to risk the rise of Illithids than let the Prince of the Comet deny her the godhood she craves. Very well.
L'arbre astral de l'empereur et la promesse de pouvoir exceptionnel.
It also promises to break us beyond repair. This ossified parasite does not make us more, but less. Do you not feel the cold where once there was heat? The void where your soul once resided?
Entrer en contact avec l'esprit Lazel. Entrer en contact avec l'esprit Lazel lui fait ressentir l'immense sensation de puissance qui vous habite.
Do you not feel the cold where once there was heat? The void where your soul once resided? can feel them. The might, the vigor, the possibilities. The Elder Brain could be the harbinger of the grand design and the doom of the Githyanki. The end time of the 16 planes will be upon us, and the Astral would be the first to fall. Very well. I will accept what this damnable Gaterock has to offer. Yisk Githkar Tafki Crashet. The party's full. You'll need to make room. Good.
Life, it once
Go on.
a cold attack you.
Moving in.
Est-ce que lui aussi je peux... Ah non, lui il a pas de larve.
When I first met you, saving yourself from ceremorphosis was your greatest wish. And yet now, I trust your leadership and respect your decisions. But I truly hope this is not something we come to regret.
Oh le mec il me fait la morale.
We have a new look. Nice as it is, she still doesn't have the best hair in the camp. Don't look at me like that. The answer is no. No.
Ça ne vous ressemble pas, de ne pas vouloir un tel pouvoir.
That was before I knew the cost. Before I knew it meant transforming into some... I remember how it hurt when I turned into a vampire. My body writhed and warped while I was utterly helpless. The grip of death owned my heart as it beat its last. I don't want to turn into anything else. I can't do that again. I can't watch my body be taken over.
Vous avez peur?
I am not. I just don't want to lose my God's given good looks, really. Wouldn't that be a crime?
Vos pouvoirs de Hittite sont la seule chose qui vous ont permis de résister à Cazador. Si vous êtes Ralva.
I'm really not sure.
Dites-moi à quel point, à quel moment vous vous êtes senti le plus vulnérable au cours de ces 2 derniers siècles. Je pensais que ça serait le plus simple à convaincre. Oh, le gaspiller.
I'm really not sure. I'm really not sure. I'm really not sure.
Ah là là.
I'm really not sure.
As you pick apart his mind, you discover his worst memory. That which brings him the purest terror. Complete solitude after being disobedient. Sealed, buried alive. Voiceless. Will this be forever? A year of horror, then the release. He will never disobey again.
Je veux que vous deveniez un demi-Hittite pour assurer votre protection.
Damn it. Damn you. All right. I'll do it. Yes? I would, but you have so many friends already. Yes?
Ah merde, lui il n'était pas dans le groupe, je crois que ça va pas marcher. On charge avant.
Do you not feel the cold where once there was heat? The void where your soul once resided?
Oh merde, ça va pas changer la bonne du coup. On va changer celle-là.
I'm really not sure. Thank you. Yes?
Mais je peux pas lui en reparler. Merde.
Do you not feel the cold where once there was heat? The void where your soul once resided? Galik. The end. Very Yisk Githkar Tak. You're full up. Dismiss someone first. Ready for
Life had one.
Go on.
The teeth.
Can't slow down.
Ah mais si, j'avais demandé à Carlac.
God, Shadowheart looks like a stack of...
When I trust your leadership and respect your decisions.
Déjà parti du groupe. C'est utile.
What's on your mind?
Oui. Et il aussi.
Nice as it is, she still doesn't have the best. Perhaps if you lost a follower or two, Well, hello. What can I do for you? Don't. The answer is no. No.
Merde. Bon, c'est pas grave. C'est pas grave.
Nice as it is, she still doesn't have the best hair in the Well, obviously I would. In that. Don't. The answer is no. No.
Capability, alacrity, quickness. Such is the potential of the illithid kind. He sees it, yet he fears it still.
Fuck off! I can tell what you're doing. You will not break me down. If we master the temples, it will be different. But right now, that mastery depends on an illithid and its gift. I'm not going to submit to this. Don't I?
Étonnamment, c'est le plus sensé du groupe. Les autres ont genre juste montré la puissance, ils ont dit allez banco.
Need something? Don't. The answer is no. That. I am not. I'm really not sure.
As you pick a year of horror, then the release. You.
Damn it. All right. I'll do it.
Life, it wants to.
Go on. Don't be.
A cold, the tadpole you feel.
Perhaps.
Du tout le groupe. Étendu. BG3 s'il va faire un commentaire.
Fate, dost thou require a new ally? Or mayhaps...
Be gone, friend. I have a darling to adore.
J'aime bien parce que tout le monde se bat. Il y a que le druide qui a fait un commentaire. Ah non, peut-être j'ai un. Ah, c'est tous les druides qui vont faire des commentaires. Ah, elle serait pas en train de parler avec vous là?
Shadowheart walks a little freer of the shadows. She could shave her skull and paint it purple. It would still suit her. Well, are we ready for the...
Ouh. Ça, je quitte le camp. Ah. On va faire ça et je vais m'arrêter là pour ce soir. Ah, j'ai oublié d'enlever Astario.
We must find where Gortash and Orin have established themselves, and take their nether stones.
Light up.
Cette lettre a été écrite d'une main délicate et l'encre est encore fraîche. Salut. Bon, je sais que je vous dois beaucoup. Sans vous, j'aurais fini dans le ventre d'un serpent. Ensuite, vous m'autorisez à squatter votre camp. Et enfin, vous avez découvert ce qui est arrivé à mes parents. Je me débrouille tout seul maintenant. Et l'homme squelette dit que c'est une bonne chose. Je laisse juste la trame me guider. A priori, elle me tire vers la porte de Baldur. Alors c'est là que j'irai en premier. Bref, merci pour tout. J'oublierai pas ce que vous avez fait pour moi. Arabelle. Arabella.
Watching gods. But I never thought I would be happy. The Harper safe house I spoke of is on the bridge at Worm's Crossing. Danthelon's dancing axe. Information. The Chosen have a head start on us. I'd like to know what they've done with it. You think me lonely? In truth, I prefer travel in a small pack such as this. Unburdened by numbers, we're free to act rather than react. A little like the old days. With allies every bit as peculiar. Give or take a few tadpoles. Would you? In time, then. Perhaps once you found a rocking chair for me to doze off in.
Worm's Crossing, the gaping maw of the city. Nature has little control over what happens beyond that bridge. I have. He speaks to... He is well. And Oliver also. At times they are one, and at others they divide. Easier for playing, perhaps. And the land thrives also. I doubt you would recognize it. Perhaps one day, you and I can both return and see it for ourselves. You are blessed with several companions as it is, but...
comme je le disais plus tôt, je vais m'arrêter là pour ce soir. Donc j'ai bien corrompu tout mon groupe. J'ai pas fait grand chose ce soir. Bon. Sur ce, à plus et bonne nuit.